We are live. NBA rundown time. RunPureSports.com. The place to be for the best in daily fantasy and sports gambling information. And you know what, AP? It feels like all is right in the world, right? I have a little bit of nostalgia because for years you did our Friday show. And I'll tell you what, Friday night overs are a lot more fun than Tuesday night overs. Maybe that's just me. But welcome to the show today, AP. Haven't seen you for a little while, but I have seen some good results from you. How are things with you?
Yeah, things have been good. A lot going on. I mean, got the PGA Championship right now. My boy Keegan Bradley making a nice approach on what hole is he on? I don't know what he is, but he's got a birdie look. That was my so at the start of the season. So I had Will Zalatoris in my like whoever was going to win. Originally, he obviously withdrew, and then I replaced him with Keegan. And so hopefully he gets the W. And so things are going really good. The Lakers though spread. I mean, yeah, I feel like this is going to be a victory lap from your side of things, right? Because they're struggling.
Not yet. Same thing when the Kings went ahead 2-0 on the Warriors, right? You won 2 at home, right? That was exactly what you were supposed to do. So I'm not ready to victory lap it. So here's the deal, and I hate when other people do this, but I'm going to give it out. Like, I'm going to end up taking the Lakers in Game 3, right? And I'm just telling you right off the bat. But let's see how that game looks. And then
how about that LeBron dunk that never happened?
God. I mean, I'll tell you what, AP, in my world, it's like the beginning of a Disney movie, right? The suns are shining. I think I sent you the GIF, like the birds are making the bed for me. I'm sleeping through the house. I'm really excited about how things went. But you know, it's so funny. And I enjoyed JSU's and Big T show yesterday. Right, and they're breaking down all these little different matchup and adjustments that you can make. And hey, sometimes it doesn't go our way, right? Because you know a lot of that show was spent talking about fading Rui, and that didn't work out. And I think that people will say, "Oh, well, you know that was just stupid." But overall, in the game theory, when you take stands like that, I think it does work out. But my whole point of this is when Jamal Murray is making tough contested shots like that, like what adjustment is there? Like, what game planning is there? Sometimes it just comes down to making shots in tough situations, and I thought the Nuggets did that. What are your thoughts on what we saw last night, Tyler?
Yeah, I mean, the Lakers fumbled the game away. I'm real sick and tired of these streaky-ass players in the NBA missing every shot for 3 quarters and then turning into prime Michael Jordan in the 4th, a la Tatum and Jamal Murray. And there's nothing you can do about that. I mean, the dude's making every shot. You just got to kind of strap in, see what happens, and they couldn't withstand that barrage that the Nuggets gave them, so now they're down 2-0. But just like you said, series doesn't start till someone wins on the road, so we'll see what happens when they go back to LA.
Well, technically the series started, and technically the series is 2-0.
Technically the series started, yeah, okay.
I just hate that. Like, series doesn't start? No, because, I mean, if the Lakers get one of those wins, they have to be overwhelming favorites to advance to the finals, right?
Yeah, because then they get the 2 at home and they have home court.
So the series started and the Nuggets held serve.
Is the NBA like sweating this potential Miami Heat Denver matchup? Because like think about it, like look at me fumbling my poker chips. That's one if you're keeping track. Like think about this, like the ratings for a Lakers Celtics series, like
you really think they'd be that much higher?
I think so. Like, I would be way more excited to watch.
I seen a tweet that said Denver Miami finals would be on NBA TV.
Oh,
I mean, hopefully not. Hopefully people will watch it. I'm just saying, like you get Boston against the Lakers, you get LeBron against Tatum, old versus young, like young superstars. So like. But
at the same time, you have an opportunity to make a brand new superstar in Jokic. I mean, like Lisa Salters from NBA saying she hasn't seen the 2-time MVP. JSU made the point yesterday. Like, so you're telling me you basically only watched the NBA Finals? Like, how could you have not seen this guy, right? There is the opportunity to make a new star. And I think the Jimmy Butler narrative is actually just as compelling. What are you laughing about?
People still may not know who Jokic is, even if even if he wins.
This is like just the common person that watches basketball. Like if you're just like a guy that flicks on the TV, you don't follow the NBA. Like when you watch Jokic run around, it's like people don't realize how good he is that are just casual watchers. So it's like they just see another big man running around. It's not the funnest to watch as just a casual watcher. They want the guys that are going to fly up.
I think he's fun.
You're not a casual watcher, Spread.
Okay. You win. Yeah,
that was the point. We're talking about casual.
I mean, he's just like he's playing at too good of a level right now. Like, what adjustments can they make? I mean, they're running like the same plays over and over, and then Jokic like turns it into something else. Like, take it to the rim, dish it out for an open jumper, dish it out to a cutting Jamal Murray to the rim. Like, what do you do? Like, they're playing incredible right now. I think then they did fumble that last game yesterday. They definitely did. They needed to win that one. I don't know. I don't know. Like, what's the adjustment? You guys, I mean, Spread doesn't know. He's just like, yeah, there's no adjustment. Denver and 4.
There is, but I'm just saying sometimes we make too much of this, and it just comes down to Jamal Murray hitting contested 3-pointers, right? And LeBron missing open dunks. I mean, it's not like Michael Malone like won this chess match against Darvin Ham, I felt. I guess my last point on the ratings would be, I wonder if there's also a level of LeBron fatigue, or if that's just me. It feels like just talking to like the guys I work with when I'm going to the warehouse, I consider them to be casual fans. Most of them only watch the playoffs. But I'm worried this is skewed because of Northern California. It feels like
they just need the right refs to win.
Albert loves refs. He doesn't even watch he doesn't even look at box scores for statistics. He just sends me the stats on like this guy calls 84% of his offensive fouls, and yeah, that's Robert's angle. But hey, sometimes you got to do that, right? You got to get different. If you found a strategy that works for you and it's just ignoring the teams and handicapping the refs and you're making money, you know who am I to criticize that? See, I'm with Brosper. I mean, I'm having the LeBron fatigue, but I also do this from
you're just a hater, Spread. He hasn't won anything in like 5 years. You're just a hater.
Bro. It was 3 years ago,
and you ridicule everything about it.
No, I don't. I said it's a championship. I've never said bubble championship is fake. That's JC Zargo's bit. They were all playing under the same conditions.
I gotta get on the show with JC. Like, that's such a bad take.
Fatigue? How can you have LeBron fatigue?
Because he's been doing it for 20 years, bro. My whole adult life.
Warriors.
What's up?
How can you have LeBron fatigue and you sit here and slob the Warriors?
Because the Warriors are awesome. The Warriors have only been doing it for 9 years.
That's called being a hater, Spread.
No, you're the hater. You're the Warriors hater.
No.
I am the defender of truth and justice on the NBA Rundown, brought to you by RunPureSports.com, the best in sports gambling and daily fantasy information. AP, I can't wait to talk to you today because Showdown is so much different, and we've got a little bit. Title basically came on Wednesday and said it's tough to win. Meg and Kurt did a better job of showing it, but I know that you've been doing well.
Tough to win. No, what's happened the last three slates over here?
He's putting my guy in a tough spot. He's leaving some words out. Title said it's tough to win when you MME it. Because if he puts $4,000 in 150 lineups and he chops for $4,000, in the end you might lose money. That's what he meant. Spread's trying to make him seem like he's like, oh, we don't like Showdown around here.
I think there are certain slates where, all right, so a series that is a great example is the Denver Lakers one. Like, we talked about it on. So yeah, actually, if you want a breakdown of it, we hit it up on the Sabre Show yesterday. Just zoom through all of the baseball talk, and at the very end, we talked about the Showdown slate. We identified in that series, likely there's only like 4 possible, maybe 5 possible optimal captains, and it's the studs. It was Jokic, it was Jamal Murray, who ended up being the optimal guy, AD, LeBron. And then Rui. Rui was the guy, kind of the punt. Like, if you went Rui, you could fill in with a bunch of different studs. So, like, for me, I always try to whittle it down if I can. Like, and I start at the captain spot. Like, who is likely to be optimal at the captain spot? Now, this series tonight, Miami Heat, Boston, it's like there's a lot more guys that could be optimal in the captain spot. We have Tatum that puts up, he could put up a low score, he could put up a monster score like he did in that closeout game with an 83 piece. You got on the Heat side, you got all of these role players. And then, Himmy Butler. I want to fit Butler or Tatum in that captain spot. Like, that's where I want to go. I also like Jaylen Brown in this series. Jaylen Brown might be my captain tonight. I'm between him and Jason Tatum. And the reason is it's just the matchup wise. Like, when you look at it, I think he had Gabe Vincent on him most of the time. He's got a ton of size over Gabe Vincent. Like, he should be able to smash this matchup. Like, he needs to not be so passive. And so I don't know. I think these showdown slates, we're pretty good at them because we figure out what the rotations are, and then it's a math problem. K Fallick, get in Discord. K Fallick talks about it all the time. It's a math problem. And yesterday's he broke down very well, and the guy ended up shipping everything. I was only I had a good showdown slate. I only ran one build. We had a good friend's birthday last night, and so I wasn't going to MME or anything like that. But K Fallick had a great breakdown. Then he ends up shipping everything. I think how many he had 19 of his own builds or something. I don't know if it was that many, but all chopped first place. So he chopped.
Great for a guy who's still learning, right?
Yeah.
I mean, did you watch the show?
Yeah.
How many times did he say that?
Yeah, that was
still learning.
But I see our guy Glock in the chat, and I think it comes down to first of all, I retweeted it. I should retweet it again because it was such a good article, and I know both you guys read it, right? But yeah. I think there was a bunch of key takeaways in there. But what I'm going to use for our conversation right now is what are you comfortable with, right? And I think that, for Title, who really can take in a huge bandwidth of information, so an 11-game slate isn't overwhelming. It's actually right in his wheelhouse. It's good for him. For people like me, Meg talks about, she prefers it this way. The shorter slates, we're just more comfortable with it. So there's no right way to do it. And everybody's going to be different. Some people are going to prefer showdown. Some people are going to prefer the huge slates. But AP, I'd say that's what's great about being part of Run Pure, right? Because you have a guy like Title who's crushing the huge fields, right? And is able to break down, 400 players or whatever it is and get you the information there. But then we also have other guys like K Fallick who really did a great job of getting in there and breaking down how to attack a showdown slate. So
I think I didn't listen to the stream, but my assumption is his argument is if you won 50, more often than not, it's going to be minus EEV because of
it comes down to what our guy Marquis says right here. Where's Marquis' comment?
That's why I say you don't have to max these contests. Like, you got to figure out what script are you running. What captain pool do you want to have? I like to have 2 or 3 captains. Max tonight, it's probably going to be Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. Those are 2 guys I like. They're the one, I think Boston rebounds tonight. If they rebound, who's it going to be on the heels of? A big game from Jason Tatum, a big game from Jaylen Brown. So my captain pool is going to be 2 guys. Maybe I go 15 builds each with 15 Tatum captains, 15 Jaylen Brown captains. So I'm at 30 builds, not 150. I don't think you have to max these things. You got to understand, the other series is a good example too. It's like, we know there's only going to be a few, number of captains. So it's like, you can only have these go a certain number of ways. And I don't know. I rarely ever full on put 150 into those slates.
And that's what's great about having all the coordinators here at Run Pure is certain guys are better at certain things, right? So when it's showdown season, the showdown specialists, take center stage in the Discord, take center stage on the shows, take center stage on the core reports. And, you're getting people who are really comfortable with their niche because there's, Glock talks about it in his article, and I keep going back to it, but I think it was so well written, At the end of the day,
I don't know the words.
it's not. I know. Yeah, we didn't.
No, like Tim the Toolman Taylor, who's the neighbor in that show. My wife loves watching that show.
Which Wilson? What are we talking about?
The Home Improvement. The neighbor.
The fence.
Couldn't see his face. Yeah. Random.
Yeah, but you just have to find something that works for you. So I personally really like these smaller slates, and Also because I'm not MME in 150. I like to do 2 or 3. Let Saber do the heavy lifting and then just kind of tinker with it from there. So, everyone has their own thing and everyone has their own goals, right? I mean, AP, right? You're making a living off it. I'd say most of the people watching the chat have a nice work, have a nice life, have a nice family. And, they just want to log on to runpuresports.com, use that heat map, use that core report, make a lineup, have a beer, and enjoy the game with the kids running around in the living room, right? And they don't need the money to make sure they got dinner on.
So,
on the table.
like, here's another thing that you can do. Like, go on to SaberSim. You can use our projections, switch it to RPS, run a cash optimal build, 20 to 40 lineups, whatever, and just see what pops. I just ran it right now, and the build that's coming up is Cody Zeller captain. So it's trying to jam in Tatum, Butler, Bam, Ty, like all these guys. I mean, anyone could go and run that build that's on there. For me personally, I most likely won't like those builds. I want to run a script where I think the Celtics are going to win, maybe pound them, and I want one of these studs in that captain spot. You could see like maybe a Marcus Smart. He's another guy that could have a decent game here. So my lean though is the studs. The other thing too is play around with the projections, start bumping them up. What number does it take before those guys start to hit your builds? So a lot of fun thing. I think there's a lot of game theory. There's a lot of math. There's just a lot of things that go into the showdown slates, and it's far different than NFL showdown too. It's much different.
Yeah, I mean, Meg made a good point yesterday. The chances of your like 1K guy, your really low end guy breaking the slate on NFL are so much higher.
Yeah,
right. All it takes is a backup running back to get the 1 yard run.
You got 5 guys on the court at all times from each team. So like in NFL, we talk about 5-1s all the time. You're rarely going to run a 5-1 in showdown, but it could work. If Boston comes out and smashes them, maybe. I don't typically run too many of those. A lot of 4-2s. 3-3s. I like the Boston 4-2s, 3-3s tonight with Tatum, obviously Jaylen Brown at captain. But I'm going to go in there and I'm going to play around with the numbers and I'm going to mess around with it. Like, what does Tatum, if I just start bumping it up, 3 points, 4 points, like what is that number before they start hitting those builds? So it's just like playing around with it a little bit too.
All right, Tyler, let's talk about tomorrow's game a little bit before we dive into tonight because we're not going to be on tomorrow. I'll have a nice day off. I'll actually redoing the floors with some of that NBA playbook money, Tyler, so I'll be working up a sweat. But, of course, you want to do some home remodeling? Go ahead, become a member at runpuresports.com. Use that information in the NBA playbook, and you too can enjoy some nice weekends, vacation, remodel, whatever you want to do, but get in on the winning here at runpuresports.com. Tyler, I hate to do this, but it just feels like it's so obvious about the Lakers. I mean, is there any reason for me to wait?
No. If they lose this game, I mean, we all know what it is.
It's 5.5. I was just going to lay it.
Yeah, you just lay it. They're going to win the game.
Okay.
Like if they lose the game, I would be shocked, and the series is over at that point. I don't see them letting them take game 3. Like game 4 is where it gets dicey.
I think so too, and I can't wait to watch. Even though I already know what's going to happen, I probably won't even watch it live. Even though I'll have the opportunity to, because I probably won't be working.
And I know we say it comes down to Murray making shots. Malone seemed to be stuck in his. He said it after game 1. He's like, I don't care what adjustment they made, we still won the game. He really didn't change much in game 2, and the Lakers had full control of that game, even with AD shooting 2 for 11. All the way up until Murray just turned into a flamethrower. He talked the same talk in the press conference again. We did what we had to do. We're not worried about their adjustments. At some point, he's going to roll out on the floor spread, and it's going to be like, well, really hope one of these guys catch fire because we're down by 20, and they're just running away with the game. And I think that's going to be game 3.
Yeah, unfortunately, I agree with you. I just wanted to talk to you because I didn't know if I should lay this 5.5 right now, or there's plenty of tennis going on right now. I could grab another minus 180 favorite, right? I'll just, I mean, that's where I think that the talk about Run Pure Sports content again. AP, let's just say let Tyler says, don't lay the 5.5. I'm not sure on it, right? You know what I would do? I would go right over to the tennis playbook. I would see who Susie has ranked right in the around the 8 to 9K range, because their odds are going to be between minus 150 and minus 200. I would just grab her number one player and just parlay it with the Lakers, and it would give me even money, right? So I just wasn't sure whether I should find a parlay piece and do that minus 227, because I think that's an absolute smash lock. I mean, maybe I just bet that or lay the 5.5. But Tyler, you think that 5.5 is safe?
Yeah, I think it's safe. I think they blow them out. I think they win the game by double digits.
What do you think?
Can we trust the tennis streets? I mean, there's a lot of volatility, you know?
So here's where you have to understand the tournaments. And obviously, as a tennis handicapper myself, I know.
Yeah,
you don't trust the tennis streets when it's a little 250 in Colombia that the players are going to tear about. Yep. But I know that right now they're in Rome. It's a Masters 1000.
Right before
it's worth 1,000 points. A Grand Slam's worth 2,000 points, right? So it's a formidable tournament. So I can trust my favorites a little more. But what do you think about the 5.5 for tomorrow night? And then we're going to dive into tonight.
Oh man, I like it. You got to think the Lakers bounce back, but seems like everyone's going to like it, right? I mean, I guess
that's why I think you have to bet it now. It was 5 when I did a show 2 hours ago and talked about this game. And it's already minus 5.5, minus 113. I can't see it going any other way. So it seems like if I want to bet it, I should bet it now. Maybe there's some Denver buyback at 6, but I don't.
What about like a LeBron double-double or something? He's had a good series for racking up peripheral stats. I mean, what does that look like?
He didn't get me there last night, though, did he? Because I took over.
Was he one off?
I think he landed on 9 rebounds.
I thought he had.
He had the double-double. He had the 10 assists.
Oh, I didn't bet the assists.
He's been 1 away from a triple-double the last 2 games. So, like the peripherals, at least, he's been racking those up.
And yeah, that's another way to approach it if you don't want to enter the tennis streets, right? Maybe a LeBron double-double and win. Tyler, that's got to get you close to even money, right? Because that's probably LeBron double-double right plus 130.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good bet.
What about like a Jokic double-double and Lakers win? That probably doesn't move the needle.
Can you do that?
Jokic is I don't know if you can or not. I'm just saying, like, isn't he a lock to get like a double-double, Jokic?
Yeah, I mean, he's like minus 600. I don't know how much.
Yeah, minus 600 would be worth a bet if that was his double-double spread.
What is that, minus 1,100?
It's more like minus 1,500.
Yeah, so it's not going to move the needle. Because when's the last time he didn't have at least a double-double?
His double-double on DraftKings is minus 20,000. In the same game parlay.
Never mind.
And you add it with the Lakers money line. Jokic gets a double-double. Lakers money line minus 235.
I'm minus 227 offshore. If you did want to take
Tsitsipas, and then Lakers money line. What does that get you?
Look at our guy Johnny Nelson dropping the tennis in the chat.
Johnny Nelson's a sharp dude. Great tattoos too. Let me pull that up.
Tsitsipas, and then it's plus 138.
Yeah, because Tsitsipas is minus 152. It's going to get you plus money. Let me see where we're at here. I kind of like that though. Maybe that's weird on clay. And minus 227 parlay. I'll throw it in. I'll put 100. It gets me plus 138. We must both be on Bookmaker, Jonathan. So okay, so there's some fun ways to approach tomorrow. If you want our thoughts on the total, become a member of runpuresports.com. We'll have either a lean or a play on it. Last night we didn't play the total, did we, Tyler?
Nope, but we did play that Lakers side, and it got dicey at the end, but we won it by a half point.
So what is the record now in May?
18-6 in May, 329 and 260 and 8 since December 1st.
And we talked about how your DFS strategy can get complicated, showdowns, heat map scores. The bet side isn't complicated. You log in, it says RPB. That means we bet it. Some of us had to close our eyes, go to the bathroom and vomit, but we placed the bet and we got the cash, right? So bet side is simple.
Do you get double tilted, like if you're betting the Lakers and then like the bet loses?
I feel like I'm
happy. I'm like,
you're happy. Okay. So it would be. There you go.
Yeah, I'm like.
So it's it's more so you're.
Yeah. So I have no problem. I was still.
It's like a win-win for you. That's what I meant. It's
it's a win-win for me. I either won the bet or it actually. So last night was perfect. I mean, that was like the dream scenario. What was for the Lakers to lose, but then for us to cover the spread. Let's dive into tonight. It's back. This was -9. when I was talking about this a couple hours ago on the Wagering World. Now it's plus 9.5, and it's minus 103. That means it could be getting close to 10. That's at least offshore. Remember, it's a good idea to have an idea of who your book caters to. The book that I use for the lines here is Bookmaker, which is a sharper book. It rarely limits. They don't kick people out, which means their lines are going to favor the favorites more. If you go to like Bovada, where they're real quick to limit you and they'll get rid of you if you keep beating them, especially on niche stuff, you're going to get a better line on the underdogs. So understand who your book is, and a lot of times that's just how much do they kick people out. If they kick people out a lot, they're probably going to be juicing the favorites pretty hard. If they're pretty liberal and they allow action from a ton of players, it's going to be a little more evening. But I see Miami Heat at plus 9.5. Tyler, I'll start with you. Take it away. What are your thoughts?
I think it's too many points. Even if Miami just comes out and the only way I think they get blown out is if they just flat out can't make shots. Like, they're going to play defense. Spoelstra's going to make adjustments. They're going to try and keep this game close. I don't trust this Boston team as much as everybody else. I know they have stars, but they just seem to just be tripping over their own feet. They're like that Great Dane puppy that just can't seem to run yet, and he's just tripping over his feet. I think they win the game. Our guy JC's in the chat saying Boston won straight up. They've also won ATS. I think that changes tonight. I do think they win. I don't think they're blowing this Miami team out by double digits, so I'll be on that 9.5. Miami's going to do their best to keep it close. I think Bam is a key to this series because when Jaylen Brown wants those mid-range jumpers, who's usually there waiting for him? Bam. And Bam can guard him. So I think he hinders Jaylen Brown a lot. It's going to come down to Tatum being able to hit these shots. And if he's turning over the ball like last game, could get dicey again. So I'll be on the plus 9.5, and I'm leaving that total alone spread. They moved it up a little bit, and I don't want nothing to do with it.
You know what? So I didn't have the book pulled up. I did the Wagering World this morning. I thought that I was going to take the over. It went from 211 to 215. It feels like they made a nice adjustment there. But AP, we love Friday night overs. Your thought on Boston minus 9.5 and a total of 215.5?
It's a really interesting line. I like that mention that JC posted there. Really interesting. I like when you look at this. So Miami won 123, 116. Boston, they kept it within 7 points. And Miami shot 55% from the field, almost 52% from 3-point range. I don't know. So how I look at this is I think it almost flip-flops. I think you're going to see Tatum, hit his shots. You're going to see Jaylen Brown. I think Jaylen Brown is the guy that has the better bounce back spot. It's the matchup. I think the matchup is better for him. Yeah, Jason Tatum should be able to handle, he should be able to go one-on-one with Jimmy Butler, but Jimmy Butler, a really great, obviously great defender. Jaylen Brown needs to be the guy here. He should be able to get whatever he wants. And I think he has a big game. I'm going to go against you, Tyler. I like the Miami side. I like the Boston side with that big spread. I think it's just, gosh, that is such a big spread. Hopefully you got to think that it keeps the public. I don't know how to interpret it. It almost feels gross betting it, but at the same time, if you just look at the numbers and look at the looks that they were getting, I don't see Miami hitting the shots that they hit in game one, and I see Boston hitting the shots that they were getting in game. So I think it flip-flops, and I think Boston wins by 15 plus. I think you're going to be sweating down the stretch, but I think Boston does win. And then the total is sharp too. If we don't see that really good shooting, I think it could come really close to that number. So I think the odds makers were really sharp with this line. I lean the Boston Celtics side.
It's funny. I don't know how much of it is the odds makers or the public. So weird, public sharps, blah, blah, blah. But people betting into it because it's moved a lot. It's definitely gone up. Posted.
The other thing too, talking. I think it's a much more fun DFS slate than betting. I know this is a betting show, but we're all Deegans here. It's all relative. I think looking at some of these things, I think Kevin Love goes. I think his minutes go down. I think Duncan Robinson, he played 7.
Did you see our show yesterday?
No,
Kurt screwed up, and he wanted to play. What was it, Caleb Martin, and he clicked Kevin Love instead, and he was just tilting because it would have been optimal. But instead, he was sitting there with Love, and he said it was like a misclick.
Oh, he's probably swiping. He's probably
I know. That's what I was saying.
Girls and clicking too fast.
You got 3 girls on your lap at lock. It doesn't always work out well.
I do think we see a tight rotation. I liked how Kyle Lowry played. There for a little bit of a stretch. I think it's going to be Caleb Martin, Kyle Lowry. How doesn't Boston just own them? They're more like
because the guy at the top running the team doesn't know what he's doing.
Exactly. And
what are we doing with Peyton
Tyler?
Pritchard? I said, why is Peyton Pritchard checking in? What are we doing?
This coach has no idea what he's doing.
Oh, I'm gonna get tilted just reviewing this game, looking at it. What are we doing? Why was Peyton Pritchard in the game?
And I have another criticism, Missoula, and I know it's easy to go ahead and hammer on these guys when they're down. But I think there's an example of players, that aren't stars, right? Like AD and LeBron, you need every night. Jokic, you need every night. Tatum, you need every night. Butler, you need every night. Look at Horford in Philly, right? He's not the fastest guy, but he's he's defending a guy that's 7'2", 330 pounds, right? Embiid does not beat you with speed. He beat you with strength, shooting over you, right? Horford do all the great old man tricks, and he was crucial. I'm fine saying that I do not think the Boston Celtics win that series if Al Horford is not on their squad. But I think he's completely irrelevant here. D'Angelo Russell's the same way against the Lakers, right? In that Warriors series. Oh, you can go at Jordan Poole. You can go at Steph. There's these smaller guards that you can attack that really aren't that good defensively. So D'Angelo Russell, this is a great series for you. You look at this Nuggets series, no, it's not the same. It's a lot harder for you to get your shot off, and now your defensive liabilities are getting attacked.
What I don't understand, though, is why when you look at this, obviously when you look at Miami, they're naturally a smaller team.
I don't think Horford's necessary in the series is my point. Yeah, and you should go back to Derek White, the starting lineup, but I don't expect him to do that.
Or a Grant Williams.
Grant Williams.
Yeah. Grant Williams getting more points.
Grant White would be a hell of a player, I will say.
Grant White would be a hell of a player.
Jump shot.
When I saw the Peyton Pritchard,
better than Derek Williams, that's for sure.
when I saw you already got how many guards? You got Derek White, Brogdon, Smart. Jaylen Brown runs out. What are you doing? I would understand Grant Williams. You got Miami shooting, 50% from 3-point range. What is?
A lot of that is Horford, right? Because he's too slow.
Yeah, no,
and he's guarding guys like Caleb Martin, who's 23 years old.
And once these Heat guys start getting moving around, they move the ball around quick, and the ball hits a corner, and there's a guy wide open for 3.
Yeah, and you look at how Robert Williams, right? I mean, obviously did his job last series, but he's so much more important this series. Just like Horford matches up really well with Embiid, Robert Williams is the guy that is going to be better against Bam. And that's why I'm saying Horford's irrelevant. I think you go smaller and try and run these guys off the 3-point line. Let's see if they do it tonight. But because I don't believe they'll do it, that's why I'm kind of leaning here with Tyler on the 9.5. I mean, boy, I hate to – it's so crazy how much –
I can't trust a coach that I know is just going to be light years behind the guy on the other side to win by double digits.
You make a good point. They're going to win big on one of these games, though. You got to think it just is this one. But, I mean, again, they don't have to. Maybe it's just – maybe you're right. If Miami comes in and steals 2 games,
if they win this
Boston's in trouble.
It's over.
It's over. Vince Carter.
If they win both in Boston, you're going to watch Jaylen Brown check out. He won't even be there game 3. He'll have a Hawks jersey on already.
I might be on your side. I might be on. If we're looking for true value in we take away some of these shooting percentages and stuff that I'm looking at and the open looks that they're getting at, and you just go with the true value factoring matchups, coaching, and all of that, there is value in the 9.5 line. I agree with you guys 100%. I'm more on that zigzag. It's you see these series and it's constantly zigzag. Yeah. This is a big zag though. If we're on the zig and now the zag, you gotta win by 10. I mean, it's a big number. I think you guys might be on to
tough
something.
too. It's tough too, right? Because you talk about value AP, but you can't get blinded because I'll tell you, as someone who creates his own lines, when you use your regular season inputs, it's going to tell you to take the dog and it's going to tell you to take the over a lot. Because, right, a lot of times the home court seems to be worth so much more in the playoffs with the role players stepping up. And then the totals are going to be depressed because obviously the defense is higher in the playoffs, the intensity is higher. So it's tough, to just say, hey, there's value. I'm just going to auto bet it. That's why I'm happy to be talking through this game with you guys. What's up?
Let's talk about that for a minute. Are we sure Boston can blow a team out?
Yes, we are sure. That's a possibility.
They couldn't blow the Hawks out. They let the Hawks back into multiple games. The only team they blew out in this playoffs was Philly, who we all know really sucked. They can't blow anybody out. I'm almost positive they can't blow anybody out.
I think they can. Let's do percentages. What are your percentage chances of all the possible outcomes? I'd say 20% Boston blowout, 20% Heat win straight up, 60% Heat within the number. Is that
I'm putting
fair,
the blowout
Tyler?
closer to like 10%. Because
I think it might even be higher. It might be 30 or 40.
Need Boston to shoot the lights out and Miami to miss everything. Because Miami's just going to adjust to everything Boston does.
But in this new 3-point league, I mean, the blowouts are so much easier. What do you think, AP? Like, what do you think your chances are in the blowout? If we're doing 3 scripts where one of them is Boston covers, second one is Boston wins, but Miami covers, and third one is Miami wins straight up. Like, what would be your percentages for each? And of course, we're not doing this mathematically with the model. We're just having fun on top of our head.
I just think I've been blinded by this Boston team. Like, I got to take my L already. I thought when you met, like, maybe I listen to what's his name too much. I listen to NBA radio every morning. Brian Scalabrini. Maybe I listen to him a little too much. Obviously, Boston homer calls their games and everything, but I mean, he ragged on Miami. Like, he went off on Miami and how Boston was just going to absolutely smoke them. Maybe I got that just too much.
And they might still losing one game isn't the end of the world.
It's just like on paper. It's like how like when you look at this team and how they match up. And the pieces that Boston has to adjust, like you said, like maybe it is Horford, who's the guy that is a problem in this series. You got Brogdon, you got Derek White, and then you even got Grant Williams, who can defend. He showed it. He showed it last year. So then it goes back to what our guy Tyler was saying, coaching. Like, I don't think Joe Mazzulla is ready, and we've been saying that for a long time. That's not.
But at the same time, if Boston catches fire, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, correct.
I mean, if they're 56% behind the arc, and
I love watching that show in the morning because like Scalabrini, like obviously former player, played like 12 years, maybe even more than that. But I think he's excellent on that show. But NBA Young Boy, I'll have to check that out.
Don't do that.
Is it not good? All right.
Yeah, one of the kids in my work listens to it. I think I like one song out of like the 15 I've heard.
Just ignore that comment. Don't listen to that.
It's not good. It is.
Oh, is it like a rapper?
We don't need you channeling. It is the rapper that John Morant listens to when he does.
It's the auto-tune stuff where they.
Oh no! I thought it was like a show or something.
A funny John Morant tweet. They said him and Wemby can have a pistol wave off on live right now. And Wemby would still go first in the draft.
Oh man!
All right, Tyler. What do you want to do next? You want to do rate the prop, or do you want to build a lineup with AP?
We'll do rate the prop next. But just another thing, because we talk about Boston catching fire, I just want to touch back on this again. The more I look at Miami, I know it's just you're crossing sports in here. Doesn't Spoelstra remind you of Belichick a little bit? He always takes away what you want to do the most. Boston wants to shoot threes. They're going to run those guys off the line. They have to beat them some other way. And it's going to be, if they're going to blow them out, it's going to be attacking the rim, getting the ball.
Jaylen Brown, baby, right. He's going to have a monster game. He's got to attack the rim.
Yeah, that's how they blow them out.
Or is that where you're going?
What, the Jaylen Brown's going to have a big game? I mean, if they were going to blow them out, I think that's how they have to do it. They have to attack the hoop, get those guys moving. Because you're not just going to be able to play, let's just hoist 53s and hope 25 of them go in. Because Miami's going to chase you off that line. So it's going to have to be Jaylen Brown penetrating towards the hoop, shooting those mid-range jumpers, but it's going to be tough, man. That's why I think that 9.5 is kind of an easy bet tonight. Could be wrong. I could be down by 20 at halftime. We'll see.
Or they could just blitz Jimmy Butler too. I
could definitely
why not just
see
completely take him out of the game?
I think Bam is the key to this series for Miami more than Jimmy. I think Jimmy just kind of washes with the Tatum, and Bam's the X factor. If Bam just holds all the other guys out of the paint,
I guess Milwaukee did that same thing and it didn't work.
Yeah,
they threw the kitchen sink at Jimmy Butler.
Plays drop coverage like Milwaukee. These guys are going to hit their shots.
All right.
I don't know. I mean, I keep going back and forth. This is why it's showdown for me. I love Jaylen Brown's matchup. I'm going just like the night before or game one of the Lakers series. I ran Jamal Murray as captain instead of Jokic. I should have went back. I still cashed at a good night. I went Jokic captain, but if I just make that one swap, I got the nuts there with those other guys. So I ran Jaylen Brown game one. I'm going right back to him. I'm not flip-flopping. He's going to be my main captain.
Dennis Nader here. So first of all, I kind of agree with you here. We took the money line in game one, right, with the sprinkle. I'm not doing that tonight. I don't believe they're taking 2 in Boston either. But Dennis Nedry says, I bet Miami phones it in tonight. I know they're not winning. I disagree. Is this team capable of
if this is a single-digit game going into the fourth quarter,
I don't think
Miami.
I don't think they're capable of phoning it in. I think they're going to go all out every single night in the playoff. Is it December? Yeah, they would. But I mean,
look at that game where Jimmy Butler was hurt and did not play. Did they phone it in? No, their guy stepped up, and that was a game. They lost the game, but it was I thought they were going to steal one.
And I'm not even saying that just because they're going to try hard, they're going to cover. But I'm just saying I don't think they phone it in tonight. I think you'd be more likely to see a Nuggets phone in game 3 and just start.
What do we think about their team total again? I know that was an easy win for us in game 1. It was 101.
Oh, we hit it at the third quarter.
It's 102.5 in this game. Do we think their offense just fully regresses? Do we think they get up over that mark? I think that's still too low for them.
I mean, have they gone under that total this whole playoffs?
Twice.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I would say over or pass there. Over or pass for me. So, all right, let's play Rate the Prop, a fun segment brought to you by RunPureSports.com, the best in daily fantasy and sports gambling information. To become a member, use a promo code. I'm Spread15. The guy to my, I guess if you're watching, to be my left is Tyler15, and under is AP15. But AP's won so much money on the showdown. Use one of our promo codes. Spread15, Tyler15, become a member, the best, and you'll get access to the heat map. And a little later, AP, I'm going to, get ready for some heavy lifting. I'm going to have you explain how to use some of the content if you're a newbie on the showdown bill.
Perfect.
But before that, we're going to play Rate the Prop. I bet some props already, and Tyler gives me a thumbs up. Hey, this is all right, or a thumbs down. You're stupid for it. The first one I got is Derek White over 8.5 points. He's averaging 14.8 per game during the playoffs. No, he's averaging 14.8 over the last 8 games, 12.7 points per game during the playoffs. He's gone over this prop total of 8.5 in 8 of the last 9 games against Miami, and in 11 games in just 21 minutes in game 1. He was 66% from the field, 3 of 5 from 3-point range. Tyler, your thoughts?
Yeah, I love the over there because I think Boston has to go smaller if they want to win this game. Spread the ball out, be able to shoot more. You can't have 2 bigs on the floor. White's the guy that gets the minutes increased, so love that one.
All right, I like the Derek White over. AP, you want to join me?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, the next one.
I like the over too. Great breakdown.
I like this one. I actually like a little more. It's my guy Caleb Martin going over 9.5. He's averaging 11.2 points per game this postseason. He had 15 points in game 1. He played 30 minutes. I think he gets 30 minutes tonight. And if so, like I talked about that Horford matchup earlier, if Missoula doesn't make that adjustment, Martin's going to eat him alive. If Horford tries to play him too close and take him off that 3-point line, Martin can get around him. If Martin plays or Horford plays off him like he did the last game, Martin gets the nice wide open 3. I like Caleb Martin here to go over his point prop total. What do you think, Tyler?
You were asking.
Go ahead, AP. No, go ahead, AP.
What was the total?
I have Caleb Martin at over 9.5 points. I got it plus 100.
I like that too. Like even if you just try to take away Jimmy Butler, you got to think that maybe you get more opportunities because you still like if you take away Jimmy Butler, you still have Bam running, facilitating too, looking for those open shooters. So I like that call.
What do you think, Tyler? You want to join us? You throw in a little same game play?
Yeah, I like that one too. Just like he said, if they try and take Jimmy Butler away, he's going to get more looks. And he's attacked the rim well in this series. I know it's only one game, but he attacked well in game 1 and he hit his 3. So he could definitely get us to double digits again.
All right, Tatum, double. Yes, I got it minus 105. Tatum averaged 8.8 rebounds during the regular season, but he's at 10.4 rebounds per game during the postseason. We know he's going to get there on points. So I'm essentially just betting the rebounds. I mean, this just, I guess, is a free roll, but you're basically betting over 10 rebounds. Tatum, double. Yes. Your thoughts, Tyler?
I'm going to lean in the middle. I don't want to play a double spread. Just like we said, Spoelstra likes to take away what you like to do best. It seems like Boston, they like to shoot the 3. They also like to get Tatum rebounding the ball so he could just start it right into their set, walk it up the floor. If they give them just that extra step of boxing him out, forcing somebody else to get the rebounds, could just slow their offense down a little bit. So I could see him maybe getting at an 8-9 range and staying away from the double. So don't hate it, but I'm not playing it.
Okay, so of the 3 I've listed so far, that's Tyler's least favorite. What do you think of Tatum tonight? AP?
I like Jaylen Brown tonight. I would be curious to see what his props look like. I have not looked at them. So Tatum, I mean, he's an absolute stud. Like I think it's always fine. I think Jaylen Brown has himself a day tonight. You got his
perfect segue for me because my next prop.
You got Jaylen Brown coming next.
Over 2.5 3-pointers made. He's gone over. He's got 3 or more 3-pointers in 8 of his last 11 games. So that's pretty much it. There's not a lot going into it, but he's been stroking it from 3, and we expect Boston to bounce back. And if they bounce back, the Stars are going to have a big night. That's why I went Tatum double as well as Brown.
What about a double, Jaylen Brown? Because I like what Tyler was saying. If let's just say we get less Horford and they go smaller, now you're going to have more guys, Tatum, Jaylen Brown, attacking the rim for rebounds too. Jaylen Brown had 9 rebounds last game. What do his doubles look like? That's something I could definitely see.
Did he have 9? Because I was going to say he doesn't get doubles very often.
I know that. That's why you would think the odds would be pretty.
It should be great. Tyler, do you mind pulling that up? I'm going to pull up this game log.
It's plus 410.
Okay. Let me see how many might be a little higher this postseason. I'm pulling up this.
Marcus Smart's 7-1 or 9-1.
Marcus Smart.
Yeah,
I like that. He racked up assists last game spread.
Yeah, he's coming off a double too.
All right, let's see how many we got. If I pull up Jaylen Brown's game log, I mean he hasn't got a double the whole postseason except for
those odds aren't good. I like your bet.
Yeah.
I like the thought process there, AP, but I feel like the books are already onto it. They're like, we're not messing with this. Like, we see where we're going with this and Brown being able to get more rebounds. We're not giving you like a 9-1.
Yeah. So, all right. The next one, Bam Adebayo over 18.5 points. He's gone over that in 3 of the last 4 games. Over the 4-game span, he's averaging 21 points per game. He had 20 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, and a steal in game 1. He was 69.2% from the field. Do you think Adebayo has another big night, Tyler?
Yeah, I mean, I think he has to have a big night if they want any chance of winning this game or keeping it close. And I know Robert Williams is a great defender. I think he cooks Horford. I know Horford defends Embiid well. It's a different matchup with Bam, and he gets moving with all the other guys on the offense, and Horford just gets lost. So I could see Bam getting into the 20s again here.
All right. What do you think, Bam, and this, a little bit of preview there for some DFS, because I think for him to pay off at his price point, he's going to have to go over this number.
Yeah, I mean, he got cooked in that drop coverage. I mean, we talk about Joe Mazzulla not making adjustments. I can get behind Bam. Again, I would be a little reserved because I do think Boston wins this game. But, I think it's a fine number, though.
All right, the last one, Jason Tatum, over 29.5 points. I mean, this is fairly simple. Tatum's averaging 34 points per game over the last 4 games, and we talked about we expect Boston to bounce back, right? I was so proud of myself for making a meme where Boston with their back against the wall, and they're just this big buff dog that can't be beaten. So because they need the win tonight, I think it translates to a nice Tatum game. What do you think there, Tyler? Is 29.5 too high?
I'm going under spread. I think they always want to stop these. They want to stop your main player. We talk about them want to taking away what you do best. They live and die by Tatum. If you could slow him down, Boston's offense just comes to a standstill, basically. Are they going to give Jaylen Brown the keys? I'm not sure. But the other thing, too, is you said he averaged what? 34? That number is so ballooned because of that.
I know. I did. When I made the numbers, I did that
there should be an asterisk next to that. Yeah. So okay. I don't buy that.
You're onto my tricks, right? I mean, that's the funny thing about when we do these player props, and be careful, right? Because everybody who does this is giving out picks is doing this. You're selectively choosing your sample size. Like, there's a reason I chose the last 4 games and not the last 7 games, right? So you do have to be careful with that. And Tyler caught me there. But regardless of how many games I chose for the sample, AP, the idea is we expect Boston to bounce back tonight. And I know you think that, there's a possibility they win by 15 plus. If they win by 15 plus, it seems like he's going over this number, right? It seems like it's almost correlated with laying the -9.5.
It has to be one of the 2 studs. And if Boston somehow loses, I mean, man, our guy JSU is going to be in shambles. That's all I know.
No, he'll be fine.
Oh, he's a big Boston fan. He'll still be pounding them. I mean, Boston could go down 0-3, and he would still be more confident than ever that Boston was going to win.
Well, we'll see. You know what, Tyler? I meant to send him the links this week. I've been so busy because I'm trying to do all that home improvement this weekend. But we're going to get JSU on here next week. So can't wait to talk to him about it. And we'll see if Boston's in a good position, or maybe he doesn't want to come on if you're right, and they're down 3-0. Let's go ahead and move into it. And guys, I know, if you're veterans, this might be a little tedious, but we are trying to grow the family and get new DFS players in there. So AP, help me out here. I just signed up. I used that promo code Tyler15. I got 15% off my first month. So I'm logged in. I'm ready to win some money. How do I use the tools and the content we have at RPS? And I got DraftKings built up right now. So if we want to go through and kind of get started with building a lineup, I'm ready to do it.
Yeah, tons of different tools over here at Rumpier Sports, starting with kind of the foundation, the fundamental tool, which is our playbook product. We have projections that the captain does an awesome job with, articles. If you're looking to get better at bankroll management, we have some awesome stuff. Glock already produced a really nice article. Go and read that. I'm working on a bankroll management series as well. And we're actually, our guy Bobby Hare is working on another series where this is most likely going to be a show, but it's going to be based around 20 max strategy. But outside of that too, we have cash charts, heat maps, player pools. Big T posts his player pools for all sports every single day, and core plays. So come sign up.
But help me out here. So I'm brand new. I just logged in. What's the first tab should I click on? What's the first
playbook?
Tab?
Go read the playbook. It gives you a nice overview of the slate at hand. And the thing is all right, baseball, it's going to be up probably an hour and a half to 2 hours before that slate starts. It's designed to give you a nice overview of the slate. The other thing, too, is use Discord. You can use Discord to get a good idea of, who we're targeting, who people are on. I mean, people are in there chatting away all day long. And then when you finalize it, the core plays. We're very transparent with our plays. My highest dollar lineup or value is what my core is based off of.
All right. So let's see. I logged in. I'm going to my NBA playbook. Now this is Showdown, right?
Yes, sir.
So I need to go to the Showdown section, right? Hold on. It's going a little slow for me. I have too many windows open.
Our guy Rubio has the playbook already up on the website too. It's all listed in there.
Well, Tyler, help me out here. My whole point is, so grab one thing from the playbook. We're going to use that to start our build, and then AP is going to kind of show me what to do next. Let's say, so I'm going to grab the playbook. We'll grab something here, and then I want to use a little bit of the heat map here. AP,
I mean, everything is so like there's so many different ways to use it, and one reason why we're going to be introducing a lot of these bankroll management series, contest selection series is everyone can use the content in different ways. And at the end of the day, you're the one clicking the button. We're just trying to get you the best information to help you make the best decisions possible. That's the goal of all of this. If you only have 10 minutes, 5-10 minutes, pull up the core plays. Those are going to be our most trusted plays. Then you got to fill in 3 plays with that. If you have more time, watch the shows. While you have the show up, pull up a Word doc. Start taking notes. While you're doing that, we all multitask. While the show is going on, pull up the playbook. Pull up the other content pieces. Make notes and compile your notes in whatever format that you like, and then use it to make the best decisions possible.
Tyler, do you have the playbook pulled up? I have 6 names really here, and Rubio's kind of said, hey, these are the potential captains we're looking at. Why don't you choose one for us, and we'll build from there.
We'll roll with our guy AP's that he likes tonight, Jaylen Brown.
Okay. So I got DraftKings pulled up. I'm putting Jaylen Brown in here. And I want to make sure I use this tool, AP. I got to make sure I use this tool. So now I'm going to go to the heat map. Help me out here. I decided, I read Rubio's playbook, talked to Tyler.
It's only one game, so there's no heat map.
So there's no heat map up today?
No, yeah, the heat map is done for the season. Yeah.
Okay.
Because
so I can't
really do a heat map for one.
Okay,
game.
So I'm going to read the playbook. So then the next thing I guess I would do would be I would just continue to use Saber Sim, right? And I would run some lineups, say with Jaylen Brown as the captain. Then I'm going to go ahead. I'll wait. What time do you think the core plays will be getting up tonight?
With these, anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour before the game. So just
so
have that tab open on your phone.
Watch some shows.
Watch some shows.
Then the core plays are going to come out, and I'll be able to use those to really fill in. And what I know that I personally, and like I said, I'm not a professional. I'm a professional gambler, professional sports bettor. I am a amateur DFS player, but I'm going to take some stands, right? I'm going to listen to it. And maybe yesterday, like I'm listening to that show and I'm going, screw you, Big T. I don't care about solo shipping. I want Rui in my lineup, right? So even though, right, I'm going to go ahead and take some stands on those core plays. I'm not just going to use them as gospel, but they've got a great insight. And when I really love using them, AP, when I'm down to that last spot, right? And I really don't know who to put in there.
Yep.
Now I'm searching through the core plays for someone right in that area, right? And as you go, I think, if you're consuming the content, you're watching the shows, you're going to have guys that you vibe with or you agree with more, right? I like JSU when he talks basketball. I mean, just his philosophies on basketball. I notice I tend to agree with a lot of the way he approaches his game. So for me personally, I think that made me more, I wanted to use his cores more often, right? Because I agree with kind of the way that he's approaching and breaking down and watching these games. But, other people, they like the way that Big T does it a little better, right? And I think that Big T's fun because he's easy. He takes stands. There's no way I'm playing X player, right? Yeah. There's no way. You can pick, and so it's really easy. So it's a lot of people like that content because he's so confident. But you'll find your own, right? And if you're really into the analytics, I think they're going to love your stuff because I think the heat map is really heavy and statistical based. You use trends very well. So right, we're getting the recent play. We're not using data. Oh, LeBron James was great in 2016, right? We're using the current level that he's playing. There's so much great stuff over here at Run Pure.
Yeah, so much of like how the grades are applied. I mean, been doing this for so long now. You kind of just know, I look for mispricing spots. Like if a player is just not priced correctly, you look for leverage opportunities and you look for matchups and rotations. So like Glock, 100% Rui. Love it. That was an adjustment that had to be made. And Glock, knew it and locked him in. And he was betting on the minutes that were going to be there, and they end up being there. So, there's so many different ways to do it. Get into the Discord. That's a great way. And then Spread, I think next season we revisit this, because if we have a full slate to tackle, it would be much easier.
We'll do this again. I just wanted to make sure, because I feel that sometimes when we're doing this show, we forget that there's a lot of people tuning in that aren't in the chat, that they're just
I gotta say, Marquis, you got banned? Hit me up if you want, man. I mean, it takes a lot to get banned from RPS, like a lot. You had to have said something pretty significant or trolled constantly, which I don't believe. I've seen you in here bringing good vibes. So
positive vibes all the time. Yeah, let's see if we can take care of that. All right, AP. So let's just mess around though a little bit. Let's throw a couple more in this little build that we're making right now. We got Jaylen Brown at captain. I want to throw some Caleb Martin in there at 5K. Are you with me on that?
I like that.
All right, Tyler, do you have it pulled up? Do you want to throw a guy here in our lineup?
Holden can't ban people. Hit me up, Marquis.
I do. If we have a 3-man Discord.
Spread. I do have to run though. Sorry, I should have let you know. I was very tight at the. I got something I got to hop onto. So I lost track of time.
Give us the best bet. Go ahead, give us your best bet. Go ahead and bounce out, AP.
I'm gonna. God, I hate going against you guys. I freaking hate it. But I'm gonna go Boston. Boston side.
All right,
that's where I'm at.
AP
See you guys.
Likes Boston
later,
minus
AP.
9.5. We will catch you next week. And AP, I'm not letting you off the hook. All right, gone. Tyler. Best bets for today, side total prop.
I mean, you asked me to put a last guy in that lineup. I just want to put that last guy in. It's going to be Bam for me. I think he's the deciding factor. I think guys are going to play him, of course, because there's only so many guys you can play. But like, Bam could get all the rebounds, get you 20. Like Bam gets you 20, 12, and gets you a couple blocks and steals. He could outscore some of those guys up towards the top. So I like Bam tonight.
And remember, right, me and Tyler are the professional bettors, amateur DFS players, but that little 3-man lineup, Jaylen, Caleb, Bam.
Listen, Spread, we might be amateurs on the DFS side, but our NFL Showdown show has a 30K screenshot to show for it.
And we've both taken down big NBA hits. I've taken 5K down before. I've taken 2K down before. In that big tournament, it's only $15. It's really hard to win on, right? Not in the 888. So, we spent a lot of time on the NBA. I'm not saying we don't know anything, but I'm just saying, I'm not saying that I'm better than our guy Glock, But that 3-man core there, that leaves you $6,900 a player. And if you did play it, my suggestion would be find a really low guy, like a 1K guy that you want to, like just a Cody Zeller or someone, throw him in there, and then you'll be able to afford a couple more studs. So I think that's a fun way to start a lineup here with Jaylen Brown, Caleb Martin, Bam Adebayo. But let's give them what we're best at, Tyler, right? I mean, let's be honest. Making lineups is not how I'm eating steak and getting new hardwood floors this weekend, right? It's from, betting, talking with you, using the information in the NBA playbook and on that Run Pure Bets sheet. Joey Work, JJ, JC Zargo, I got to give them all credit for all the winners they've given us. But give them best bet for tonight. We're going to be on the same. I think.
Give me Miami plus the 9.5.
Yeah.
And then just because I do think Boston wins the game in the end, Smart racked up assists last game. There's a Marcus Smart 8+ assists and Boston wins at plus 285. Okay. Might bet both of those. They keep the game within 10 points and Boston wins, and we could ship both of those. So those are my two best bets. And I'll probably bet that team total again at 102.5. I think that's too low.
Yeah, let's do that. And I'm going to throw in that Caleb Martin. I already gave it out earlier, but I think of the 6 props I read out, that's my favorite. So it's not fun. Well, it really depends on your risk tolerance. Sometimes it's more fun to just choose one of the props, though, right? We'll see how that goes. Yeah, it is tough work, Marquis. Let's see how tired I am this Monday, but it's going to be worth it because these carpets that I have right now are about ready to go. So, Tyler, I'm going to jump off because I want to paint the living room real quick before I put these new floors in. I figure I don't have to worry about spilling on the carpet that's getting ripped up tomorrow morning. But that means, because AP left, you got to give the words of wisdom, and I get to hit the button today.
I thought you were giving the words of wisdom. I mean,
do I get to give the words of wisdom?
Yeah, the Lakers lost. I feel like you got to do it.
Okay. Today's words of wisdom. First of all, head on over to runpuresports.com. Use that promo code spread15. But I think that the Denver Nuggets are a great example for us in life, that sometimes, we could be against all odds. We know all the referees are against us. We know Kim Kardashian's rooting against us. We know Jonathan Nelson's against us, but yet we're still resilient. And then when Jamal Murray's hit contested threes from behind the line, that's called running pure.